howdy Aquarians, and let's see what our forecast is all about for this particular month. So, Aquarians, our just transition basically stopped. We went to Mercury retrograde right after it, so hence we kind of like had sort of freedom going through our sign, and then it was like it was a big kind of like break. So if you thought you were getting somewhere, maybe things kind of like really didn't proceed this way, but don't let that get into your way, because this is just this temporary. Mercury retrograde ends on the 10th officially. It is still in the shadow. That's what I mean by that. So it might be a little bit longer that we have issues, but whatever you're doing, it doesn't mean that you're crazy if you keep insisting doing it. Okay. Ooh, so there are jumpers. So there it is, Queen of Wands and Nine of Cups. So that's pretty good. So I don't know if this Queen of Wands represents us. It's a cat tarot channel. Let's remember, it's a kitty over here. And kitty was all over me here, stopping me from working. And now when she should show up for everybody, she's probably sleeping. So what are we dealing here with? We are talking about some energy. So did you feel that maybe you felt that energy is not there? Did you feel that, oh my gosh, I want to do this A, B, C, D, E, and then you just don't get out of bed? I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you accomplish one or none, and day after day after day. Did you ask yourself, ooh, I'm getting old, but this is weird? Well, this really tells me that things will change, because usually when a card shows up, especially such a good card, these are really, really good cards, and this tells me that you're going to start going and going and going and going and mover and shaker. You're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm going to be dead when I'm dead. Up to that point, I'm doing stuff. So getting a plan, working this plan, being consistent, every day, like kind of like clearing smaller chunks is going to be the name of a day. And you're going to feel very, very accomplished. This Nine of Cups is this, look at this, cushy, nice sitting place, and don't you mess with me and my table. It's my table. They're my cups. This is my milk, kind of a thing. This mind, which is not really typical for us Aquarians, is going to be very, very prominent this particular month. So this is really, really important to know. Anything else for my Aquarians that's coming through? Okay, so let's start. The bottom of the deck, it's the Ace of Wands, and it's also the Emperor. I always go up to the first major. Actually, we have two majors. The Emperor was reversed, and this one was reversed, and this is not really interesting, right? It is really telling me that we have tried to follow rules. The rules have been set by the other people, not by us, and it always felt, if they said you go left, and you finally go left, they'll say, no, I said right. And maybe we felt a little bit confused, we felt a little bit dizzy throughout this whole situation. And remember what I said during this Mercury retrograde, it is very important to understand that it's not you, right? So this really tells me that maybe we have been shaken up. Maybe there is like a level of stabilization that has been affected, and it's kind of like really permeating through us. So it's very important to kind of like really look in that direction. There are like certain things from the past that maybe we wanted to happen and it didn't happen. Or on the other hand, for the others of you, certain things are finally reaching the final rest. And the rest it is. It's kind of like, look at this beautiful picture. These things are just like really budding through it and then going further and further and further. And this is a theme. It's 3 out of 3 readings I'm seeing this card. So this really means to me that we are reaching possibly a switch in karma, and that's something I'm feeling for a while. This is like what Eckhart Tolle said in his book, A New Earth. Because it's not going to be that half of population will die or whatever the percentage is. It's going to be that we are pushing into getting something new. But in order to get something new, you cannot carry all the things with you all the time. At some points you have to let behind you grievances, people, events, and even things. And this is what it's telling me. This is what's going to be, and it's going to feel a little bit unnerving. It's going to feel a little bit destabilizing, because we have quite a few motion kind of like agents over here. But this one is also showing up here. Look at the kitty cat chasing its tail. This is the card. It's called Lovers, but it's really the card about choice, and it's choice about something that we love, and it is usually choosing the commitment. But check this out. We have 4, and then 4 or 1 is 5, and then we have 6, so 4, 5, 6, and then we have 7 here, and then we have 7 here. We also have 11 here, and 11 is a karma card. Lots of things happening, which tells me there is like this push forward, and not in a small way, in a big way. Remember this Queen of Wands and the 9 of Cups that we had in the beginning. So we have 6 of Swords relaxed, reversed, and the Devil. So this is again going back to something possibly to close it. Did we have some issue with how we relate to the other people? We are very often misunderstood, and we often feel like we're a peg in the round hole, or the other way around. This card tells me here these are the chains, or maybe they're the people that kind of exist in our life that are chaining us. This literally can talk about imprisonment. It literally can talk about there are like some old issues that are being revisited. There are like some stuff that needs to happen. So then we have this King of Cups over here. He's reversed, and this is somebody, maybe this could be relating to this card, to the Devil card. Maybe this is somebody who has been all along with us, for us, who has been telling us lots of nice things, but really didn't come through when we really needed this person. It could be male, it could be female, right? So this person is relatively, I would not say dangerous, because that's a weird word, but we as Aquarians expect transparency. We are rather transparent with most people. That always cost us, right? But it is our way. So then we also like to have this from the other people, but then they don't have this capacity, because they kind of like really want things for themselves. Like this could be also somebody, a boss abusing you. This also could mean that somebody X is trying to do it, or some old issue that is coming back to the fore, because this is Mercury retrograde after all. And it's going to be very prominent around the 6th of this month. So what we're leaving behind, we're leaving an inability to connect. We are really highly intuitive. Aquarians, Pisces, Scorpio, highly intuitive signs. But maybe it has been something that usually happens when people are hurt. It usually happens when we spend too much time in our thoughts, in an analysis, because as long as you are in that analytical part, you cannot shift to the creative part. So if you are in professions that demand creativity, or you're looking for a solution that is different from the solution that maybe so far you try to work through, like then you have to go in that creative kind of like side, which means you need to kind of like, oh, who is showing up? I was just saying, you don't want to show up for the Aquarian reading, my little aqua girl. Don't show these parts. Yeah. Who's happy? Do you love Aquarians? How much? How much? Yes, let's mess with camera right now. Let's mess with camera. So what else do I have here? And then we have the Hanged Cat, which means that maybe we'll be in a situation where we really have to accept everything that is coming forward, everything that is coming to us. So this usually happens when we really don't like what's happening to us, but we are saying, okay, let's go with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it happens, right? The Hangman is one of God cards in tarot. So he's saying, okay, show me how you do it. Show me. It can actually translate to being at work, right? Where you maybe have an employee and I want this way. And you're saying, no, I already know it's not going to work that way. But let's try it. And then you try it and it explodes in your face because you know, you're trying something new and you don't have time or space for it. So this is kind of like where the advice is kind of, okay, maybe you'll have to do it. Maybe it's going to explode in your face, but if it's showing up here, it's showing up, this is not because of you, it's because of someone else. So make sure that if you allow this, or if you allow somebody to come in your life and do the same thing, you in your job is only to observe and only to be certain for yourself, because you want certain things to happen differently. And then we have strength. Well, strength came reversed, and strength is sort of like sub-element of our card, the star. Maybe we want certain things to be accomplished, and this is really relating to, I can see the period between the 6th of March and 12th of March, or whatever it is, 6 and 12 days from when you're viewing this, that is going to be a little bit tricky, a little bit kind of like, let's go slippery slopey kind of thingy, right? So it's very important to understand that maybe certain people who said yes to some project, who said yes, they will support you, to say yes, you're going to get back together, might just flip-flop. It's, you know, flip-flop, flip-flop, and that's why we have the fish, you know, how this really works. There are lots of majors. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not to mention that 2 of them were hiding here. Just remember, this deck has 22 majors, and it's 78 cards. Look at how many more cards I have with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's the third of them are already on the table. So this is a really going to big shifting month, and this kind of proves it. This is Judgment card. This is also one of my karma cards. Remember, 11, Judgment card, karma card was hidden in here, but this is straight out. It's coming out and saying, I'm here. If you have been good, no matter who was putting the coals under your feet, no matter who was telling you you're wrong, no matter who was gaslighting you, that's going to shift and that's going to change, kind of like big times. This is a big card. The last card of tarot is 21, so we go from 0 to 21. So this is it. If you have been bad, you might need to make some concession, and that's very important. And this is why these two are connecting really nicely, right? So keep in mind, in this stage, you see what you did wrong, if you did anything wrong. And nobody's 100% right. So even if you're 99% right, you still have to acknowledge, maybe I could have done this a little bit better, a little bit more elegant, a little more sophisticated. I could have choose better words. I could have choose different tone of voice, that kind of sort of things, right? Where here it is that acknowledgement that you're doing this before, especially when somebody challenges us, especially when somebody triggers us, especially when you are like, I mean, I'm going to kill you kind of a thing. Then you go, I'm glad I didn't kill you. I'm glad I didn't go there, because I never meant it. I never wanted it. And it is going to be that release over here, the release that is very positive. It's kind of like something coming forward toward you in a really good way. So you see this 8 that was reversed is now coming through. If you guys are treating this as a love reading, and maybe there's somebody in your life who you already think well, I'm trying, I'm not finding a good fit, because I'm finding all these people who maybe even sound nice, but they don't come through. They're like flakes kind of a thing, right? Or maybe you were even in a different stage where you wanted somebody to commit and they didn't want to commit, and it always was, what is it? Are you just using me? And why is this not moving forward? And am I too friendly that you need to understand that, hey, yes, I'm a friendly son, but like I also need love, right? So that is shifting. That is coming around. This 8 of Wands over here is telling me that love messages are coming through. Somebody's coming through. Hopes and fears is 3 of Swords. Well, this is on us. We have this issue. You did this to me, and maybe it has been something that has been going on for a while. Let's put it this way. Let's say you are stuck. You know the lobster principle, that if you put 2 or more lobsters in the same can, or whatever you want to call it, they're going to hold each other from and preventing from crawling out. So hence they're all going to stay stuck, right? So the same thing with us. If we are kind of stuck or imprisoned, remember how I said imprisonment, in some kind of like motion, that's something that we want to do, how we want to do it, or we feel that other people bound us to it. This card here says that we need to release that energy. That energy is something that is actually holding us and preventing us of moving forward. It is preventing us in being kind of like who we can be. This is the energy of a third party. This is the energy of being cheated on. This is the energy of being lied to. This is the energy of promises not being fulfilled. And it kind of like got stuck. It's time to wash it off. It's time to kick it off, right? So that's going to be beneficial. And then it's going to be needed some kind of relaxation. And generally, like, I mean, people talk about this card as a card of boredom. And that's so much can it be? Well, this is a glass of milk, and this is a glass of milk, this is a glass of milk. Oh, this glass of milk is coming delivered on a turtle. I'm going to peek, but I don't know if I'm going to bother. So maybe you think, been there, done that, not dealing with this, I don't care about this. But I don't really think this is the best way to go forward, right? You need to let go your own grudges, not for anybody else, but for you. Things are actually turning around. I can see that. This is also 11 here hiding. And 11 is justice card. And justice and judgment are usually coming in hand. So I'm seeing it here, and I'm seeing it here, right? Which we had it on the bottom, which is the underlying thing. So there's like something that maybe we felt we are getting a short end of the stick, but no more. Things are turning around big times. I have actually pulled one more card here for you. Also wanted to see in the very end where this card falls, right? And I can totally see what this was all about. So we have here card victim, right? So the story behind this basically card is like this. Acorn is asked to star in a fable, right? And the fable is basically written by this green dragon, right? So he was promised, like, I mean, lots of money for that basically role, but in the end, you know, like, I mean, everything that he did in the movie was just like simply cut out, right? So he doesn't even have basically speaking part, and then he feels betrayed, right? But you know, he is actually not resentful. He realized that being in this fable, being in this role, basically landed him a job, being on display in a museum. So he's saying, I'm very content, but we can also see that maybe there is some kind of denial, and it could be underlying anger. Remember how I said over here, and I was seeing it over here, there are like certain things that we need to let go. And it's actually going to be relatively easy. You know, it takes 2 years of preparation and 1 second of doing it, and then we're off. So there's like something that is holding us back, without realization that things, just because it felt a little bit rocky, don't need to be like that forever, right? So to move forward, we need to make an honest assessment of our situation. So we need to ask ourselves, like, how are our actions connected to our inability to have the breakthrough, to have this realization, to have the other people to come to us? How do we attract the proper people for us? So that whole thing of feeling blocked and blaming others and having this past resentment is really actually hiding in itself a seed, a potential for greatness. So it's very important, because this particular month is going to be a month of growth and month of breakthrough. It's empowerment. So just keep in mind that there's going to be a block of time between the 6th and 12th where it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel WTF kind of a thing, right? But things are going to start to shift. On the 21st, guys, so this is 20th, for us, maybe even a day early. On the 21st, Saturn moves into Aquarius. That's really good news for us. That means that the past 2 years, especially for those who have very strong Saturn, a very strong Aquarius, it kind of like felt like nothing I do is actually resulting in the results that I used to produce before. And people that come to us were maybe not a great fit, and we still wanted to make it work. So around the 20th for us, things are going to shift in a major way. 28 to 28 is going to be a huge time, and it's not going to be just a little bit, it's going to be big times. It's going to be somebody stepped on it, on a pedal, and the car is jumping, it's flying. So it's very, very important to understand this. So guys, just be patient, just few more weeks, no more victim thing, because then you're dragging with you something. Just think about winning a lottery. Then why not to take everything fresh and new, and why to drag your old furniture into the new place? Nope, I'm starting from the scratch, all the stuff, maybe a few mementos, and this is it. We are not a sign that dwells in the past, we are a sign that dwells in the future. But that whole thinking thing that we have, lots of thinking, we need to disconnect it a little bit and go in the creative, because that's going to push us through. And all of a sudden you'll see the other people are gravitating toward us, they're seeing our way, they're understanding us, they're telling us that they love us, we're getting hugs, and all of a sudden you're thinking like, what gives? What did I do differently? Nothing. It's just like was astrological box that we have been in, that we really didn't know how to handle. And this whole energy that we released in that box was self-destructive. So now we need to understand that the door is open. We do not need to react that way anymore. We are out. The freedom is there. We can do whatever the heck we want. The change is going to be immense. So enjoy, my dear Aquarius. If you want a reading with me, contact me via cattarot.ca, and please come and visit my Instagram and Facebook for daily readings. I love you. All the best. Namaste.